to be number one. Little did I know that I would, hit with her, and I was hitting the ball pretty well. But I still didn't think about,
Eala has is obviously that much higher. And
when Martina Navratilova speaks, the entire tennis world stops. Not out of courtesy, not out of respect for a retired legend filling airtime, but because this woman spent 2 decades dismantling opponents like a surgeon on the professional circuit. So when Navratilova publicly evaluated Eala's technique and compared her to Rafael Nadal, the WTA didn't just raise eyebrows. The narrative around a 20-year-old from Quezon City, Philippines, changed completely. Let's be clear about what this assessment actually means. Navratilova didn't sit down as a casual commentator looking for something nice to say. She conducted a genuine technical audit, the kind only someone who spent their entire career studying how the human body converts intention into winning shots can actually deliver. And her verdict? She described Eala as crafty. Now, that word matters. In professional tennis, crafty doesn't mean lucky. It doesn't mean a player who benefits from opponent mistakes. Crafty means a player who reads court angles in real time, who executes shots with deliberate precision, who constructs points rather than just hitting through them. Then Navratilova went further. She compared Eala's shot execution to Rafael Nadal. Not in terms of power, but in terms of shot consistency and the ability to place the ball exactly where she intends it to land. For a 20-year-old competing against women who have spent 15 years building their professional games, that is a remarkable technical foundation to already possess. And Navratilova doesn't invoke Nadal's name without substantial justification behind it.
Another wonderful win for Alexandra Eala. Listen to that noise. Thank you, Jasmine, she says. Paolini gracious as ever in defeat.
So what exactly makes Eala's technique so exceptional? Let's break it down. First, the left-handed advantage. Navratilova specifically highlighted this. Left-handed players create different angles and spin patterns that right-handed opponents must constantly recalibrate to during match play. That advantage compounds over a full 3-set match when fatigue starts affecting decision-making. Second, ground stroke consistency. Eala's forehand and backhand both carry clean contact points. She strikes the ball at the optimal moment in her swing path. Not early, not late. This produces predictable ball trajectory and reduced unforced errors. Precisely the foundation that builds winning records against quality opposition across a full tournament week. Third, the slice backhand. And this one is personal for Navratilova. She built her own career on that shot. When she evaluates another player's slice, she measures it against the highest possible standard. Eala's slice demonstrates genuine depth control and spin variation that forces opponents into uncomfortable defensive positions, limiting their ability to attack on the following shot. And fourth, point construction. This is where Eala separates herself most clearly from other emerging WTA talents. She doesn't rely on one devastating shot to end rallies. She builds points methodically. Variety, placement, creating openings where opponents are left with limited effective options. All of this directly reflects her years of training at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca. Precision, movement efficiency, shot selection based on court positioning, not raw pace. She absorbed those principles, and they now show up in every single match she plays.
Look at this. I mean, this was in Australia. Court 6 literally had a line. I know I'm exaggerating, but it went for miles at the Aussie. It was wild scenes there. Ali, can you remember a women's star who gets this type of support wherever she goes?
yeah, well, Taylor Swift? I mean...
Yeah.
But here's where Navratilova's assessment becomes genuinely interesting. Because she didn't just hand out praise. She identified one specific weakness, one targeted area that must evolve before Eala can truly own this tour. The serve. Navratilova said it directly. I think where she can improve the most is her serve. Make it pay off more. She needs a bigger serve and a bigger kick. The current serve is reliable enough. It won't gift opponents easy points, but it doesn't generate the pace or movement patterns necessary to dominate against the highest-ranked WTA competitors. In modern women's tennis, The serve is the primary offensive weapon, the shot that dictates entire rallies from the very first stroke. Right now, Eala's serve is a dependable starting point, not a weapon. Experienced opponents know this. They can afford to be aggressive on return because the incoming delivery doesn't create the same pressure that top-ranked servers produce consistently. Navratilova's recommendation was surgical. Added physical strength for greater racket head speed, smoother rhythm, more relaxed arm motion through contact, natural velocity as a byproduct of better mechanics, not rebuilding from scratch, optimizing what's already there, so the serve matches the level of everything else. Now, let's zoom out, because Navratilova's praise carries implications beyond individual player evaluation. The WTA right now features power-dominant competitors like Aryna Sabalenka, multi-dimensional competitors like Iga Swiatek, aggressive baseliners throughout the top 20. Every one of them built their game around one primary strength. Eala's approach is fundamentally different. Precision, variety, tactical construction. The exact same approach Navratilova herself used to sustain elite success for 2 decades on the professional circuit. And here's the proof that this isn't just theoretical. Eala's victories against Grand Slam champions didn't come from overpowering opponents. They came from superior shot placement, tactical variety, point construction that left opponents with no good options at critical moments. Navratilova saw it. She said it publicly. And at 20 years old, Eala still has meaningful physical development ahead of her. Professional players regularly gain strength during their early 20s as their bodies continue maturing. That biological window gives Eala a realistic path to fix the one weakness Navratilova identified, without disrupting the technical game that is already producing results at the elite level. Martina Navratilova going off on the WTA and declaring Alex Eala technically exceptional is not routine commentary from a retired champion. It is a verdict from one of the most credible technical voices in the history of this sport. The foundation is already exceptional. The roadmap is clearly identified. The only question left, can Eala develop that serve and fully become what Navratilova already sees in her? At 20 years old, the next 18 months will answer everything. Drop a in the comments if you think Eala reaches the top 10 this year. And if you're not subscribed, this is the channel that breaks down what the mainstream tennis media glosses over. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, because the next breakdown drops soon.